Before we get to that, I have to talk about, we have to do a little bit with Donald Trump and the minstrel show that took place yesterday, okay, here in Detroit. All right. I watched some of the coverage, and I went back and watched it online. I saw his 12-minute address to the congregation at Grace Faith Ministries here in Detroit. And it was just ridiculous. Okay, I want to go to this clip. This is from this morning, Politics Nation. Reverend Al Sharpton. Reverend Al Sharpton interviewed this morning. He interviewed Bishop Wayne T. Jackson about Donald Trump's visit yesterday. Let's go to this clip. Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM, the Superstation, Radio Our Way, a division of Adele Media. I'm Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network. We're going to have Professor James Small on in a few minutes. I want to go and finish this clip here. This is from this morning, Politics Nation. Reverend Al Sharpton interviewed Bishop Wayne T. Jackson. Bishop Wayne T. Jackson is the bishop at Great Faith Ministries in Detroit. That is the church that hosted Donald Trump yesterday. And I watched some of the coverage. This is just embarrassing. Let's go back to this clip. We're coming back to that clip in just a minute. So let me know when we have it ready. But also, here's some things. No specifics. I watched the 12-minute address that Donald Trump did from prepared statements. No policies did he talk about. Now, also, the church has a capacity of 1,400. From news reports, it was only about half full. He spoke for 12 minutes, provided no policies. And I asked the question, what type of outreach is this? Now, personally, I think the congregation and the church, etc., in the African-American community, they have been used as a prop of Donald Trump to score points, used as a political backboard for him to score points off of. This is all about softening his image and appealing to white college-educated suburban voters. And if you read the article from August 23rd, 2016, Washington Post, Inside Donald Trump's New Strategy to Counter the View of Many That He is Racist. Inside Donald Trump's New Strategy to Counter the View of Many That He is Racist. It says, for Trump, the objective is twofold. According to his aides and allies, he wants to make inroads with minority voters who polls show overwhelmingly support Clinton. He also believes that a more measured approach on race can convince white voters, now shunning him, especially women, that he is not the racist that his inflammatory rhetoric might indicate. He also believes that a more measured approach on race can convince white voters, now shunning him, especially women, that he is not the racist that his inflammatory rhetoric might indicate. See, Donald Trump, as Roland Martin said back in April on This Week on ABC with George Stephanopoulos, Donald Trump has a Meghan, Ashley, and Becky problem. It's white, suburban, Republican women, college-educated women who are shunning him, okay? Now, he totally contradicted the rhetoric about the African-American community when he was in front of white audiences. Because when he was in front of white audiences, it sounded like doomsday for African-Americans. Yesterday, he applauded those who raised their children right and things like this. I'm like, this sounds like two different people, okay? Now, the other thing is, from articles I've read, it doesn't appear that he has been to an African-American church, period, in the past, 70 years old. Nobody has said he's been to an African-American church. He hasn't even been to the churches of his African-American Republican pastoral surrogates. He hasn't been to Minister Omarosa's church. He hasn't been to Pastor Mark Burns' church, Pastor Darrell Scott's church. These are his surrogates. He hasn't even been to their churches. Okay? This is a joke. All right. So that was this morning. That was after the show yesterday. And to me, it was a minstrel show. I'm sorry. I'm sitting there. I'm just embarrassed. That was this morning, Politics Nation, Reverend Al Sharpton, MSNBC, interviewing Bishop Wayne T. Jackson about Donald Trump's visit yesterday to his church. Now, as you heard in the interview, Bishop Wayne T. Jackson admitted that Donald Trump did not talk about any policy in the 30 minutes plus of the interview. Didn't talk about any policy. Interested to find out what the hell you talked about. Now, why didn't Donald Trump apologize for leading the birthing movement and questioning the citizenship of President Barack Obama when he did his 12-minute address to the church? Why didn't he apologize for discriminating against African Americans in his apartment buildings in New York, as we found out from the Department of Justice investigation? And the DOJ sued he and his daddy in 1973, and then sued 3 years later because they kept doing it.